Hi everyone and welcome back to Alright, so today is a little different. We're not anywhere fancy, but I am going to be talking to you guys about my upcoming trip to Disney World and Universal. I'm so excited. We're finally in single digits. I feel like I booked this forever ago and it's finally here. Me and my husband and my mom are going. It's going to be my mom's first time at Disney World and Universal. So I am so excited for her. My husband hasn't been since he was like 13. So if you've been to Disney, you know lots has changed since then. It's actually going to be my third time going. And what makes this new for me is we actually went all in. We're going to be staying on Disney property at Pop Century Resort, and I'm so excited to finally be able to just do the whole Disney experience, from staying at the resort, going to each of the parks and everything like that. And there's a plane about to pass over, so I am going to chop this out. All right, sorry about that. Those planes get pretty loud, and I'm sure you appreciate not having to hear me yell over it. Moving on, like I said, we're really excited to go, and I thought I would just kind of share like some of my planning strategies and the details of our upcoming trip, so you guys know what to expect to kind of see in the vlogs and stuff while we're there. And it might help some people kind of get an idea of how to plan their upcoming trip. So let's get started. First things first, I do want to give a special shout out to my good friend and travel agent, Cody Morris. I will put his information down below so that way you guys can check him out. I definitely recommend him for any of your vacation booking needs. I use him for nearly all of mine. I did book this vacation with him, and technically it's considered a group vacation that we booked it under. And the cool thing about that is it does get us a group discount rate. Now, people may be kind of leery about doing a group vacation because they think they're going to be walking around with a bunch of strangers and doing everything as a group that they may or may not want to do. That is not the case. So at least not the way Cody books his group vacations. There is that option to do things as a group if you want to meet new people, cool, whatever. However, you do have your individuality. So me, my mom, and my husband, we're going to do our own thing. It's our vacation. We're going to do whatever we want to do. And that's pretty much that. We're not going to be, stuck following a group around, riding a bunch of rides that we don't want to ride, or eating somewhere we don't want to eat. And as you'll see later on in the video, we have our own reservations for everything that we want to do. And, we don't even know what the other people are doing. So I do definitely urge you guys to check out or consider a group vacation, because it does help you out with getting a discount. And may possibly, meet some people who share the same interests as you. If not, that's fine. But like I said, you get that discount, and you do get to still live your vacation how you want to. And that's that. So like I said, I'll put Cody's information down below. Definitely hit him up if you have any questions regarding vacations or anything like that. He's super flexible, so nice. A lot of the times I'll tell him what my budget is, what I kind of expect out of the vacation, and he's able to work with me and give me ideas and figure out a way for me to get on the vacation that I want to do. So definitely check him out. So, like I said, we are going to be staying at Pop Century Resort, and since this is my first time, I can't really attest to pros and cons versus staying on property versus off property. However, I can share my experiences with you. One time, I did stay at an off-property hotel, and that was nice. you're still down around in the area, obviously saving some money, and it's pretty much it. Depending, if you go with friends or family, you can save even more money by splitting the cost. So there's that. Another time I did split a condo with some friends, and that was really cool because obviously that benefit of splitting the cost, still saving a lot of money versus paying to stay on property, and it was just really nice because you're all in the same you and your friends are just getting to intermingle, be in the same place, and not having to be split up in different rooms. And just depending on where you stay, the amenities, like the place we had a hot tub and a grill, and it was just really cool getting to hang out and enjoy those type of things together, which you can do all that stuff on Disney property as well, like go to the pool and this things like that. However, it's a little more privatized, I guess, staying like at a condo versus on property. Now, the things I can speak on for the on property, just knowing going into our reservation, is at least for the rest of the year, we do get that free transportation from the airport to our resort, and then also the transportation from our resort to each of the parks, which is really helpful. However, the thing you have to keep in mind is, like for us, we're going to be going to Universal 2 days, and obviously those days you'll have to Uber, find a ride, etc. And that's just something you'll have to keep in mind when you are planning your trip. So like for us, we're going to be staying at Pops the whole 9 days, even though we're going to be going to Universal 2 of the days, just because most of our trip is going to be centered around Disney. And we'd much rather just pay 2 days to go to and from Universal and so forth. And I've never stayed on a Universal property, but from the videos and reviews that I've seen, they do have some nice options available. Hopefully somewhere down the road I will do a Universal centered trip, and that way I'll be able to offer that for you guys, show you that experience. This will actually be my second time going to Universal, and my first time I went, it was just a 1-day thing, and I absolutely regret doing that to myself. I just felt like it was really rushed and crammed because I am a big Harry Potter fanatic, and once I got there, all I wanted to do was see and do everything regarding the Harry Potter worlds. I mean, it could literally be its own park, I feel like, combined. And I just felt like I didn't have really as much time to experience the rest of the park like I wanted to. So either schedule yourself more than 1 day, or you'll just have to be really strict on dividing your time amongst all the things that you feel like you'll want to do there. So definitely do your research before you go, like what kind of attractions they have. Like I said, if you're a big Harry Potter fan like I am, just plan like 1 day at least that you will be there and around that all day, because that's what's going to happen. One thing I did want to mention is that you will want to purchase the 2-park ticket. That is the one that will allow you to ride the Hogwarts Express or the train from one park to the other. Without that ticket, to my understanding, you won't be able to ride that train to the other park, where Hogsmeade and Hagrid's ride and everything like that, or backwards, vice versa. So just keep that in mind, because the train ride itself is an attraction, I felt like, and it was a long wait, at least when we went. This is probably about maybe a year and a half ago, and I loved it though. I definitely recommend riding the train if you can. And I hear that riding it back is also a different ride in itself. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but going one way and coming back another has, I guess, two little different experiences, depending which way you're going. So yeah. So, staying on the topic of tickets, I just wanted to share a great resource with those that are in the military or that have a government ID and have base access. You can go to your local military ticketing office, and they have tons of discounted tickets for not only Disney World and Universal, but like all your local like amusement parks, aquariums, zoos, kind of big entertainment things like that. So definitely check that out if there's something that you're interested in and you're just like, oh, I don't know if I can afford that, or the prices are kind of steep. There is that resource there for you, and that is what we purchased our tickets to Disney World and Universal through. I did not do that my first time, and now that I know about that, it's definitely something I will not pass up. And unfortunately, Disney World and Universal does not offer that military discount at the door or where you buy the tickets at the park. The only way you can get those discounts is through purchasing it through your local military ticketing office. And just so you know, they have all the different options as well. So like for Disney World, we wanted to do the park hopper, which gives us the ability to go from park to park in one day. That does cost a little bit more. If you just know you're going to be at one park all day, you can just buy a one park ticket, and it is a little bit cheaper. Not significantly, but it is a little bit cheaper. But for us, we like to have the flexibility of being able to park hop, is what they call it. So after 2 p.m., we can go to another one of the Disney parks as long as there's availability. And so how that works is, say we go to Epcot, and after 2 p.m. we're like, oh, you know what? I really feel like going to Animal Kingdom. That would be a bad move because Animal Kingdom closes early. But you get the idea. So after 2 p.m., as long as the park has availability, they can go to the other park. And so this is especially helpful if you're kind of on a time crunch, or say you're only there for like a weekend, and you really want to experience all 4 parks. Well, what you can do is make sure you get tickets with the park hopper option. So Disney has 4 parks, so if you're going for 2 or 3 days, in 2 days you can split it between 2 parks. The one thing to keep in mind, especially right now, is that with COVID and everything like that, you do have to make sure that there's availability, especially with you having to do the reservations for the parks ahead of time. The nice thing, at least to my knowledge, is that the second park that you park hop to, you don't have to have a reservation for. It's just your initial park that you plan on going to that day you have to have the reservation for. And then after 2 p.m. you can go to whichever park as long as there's availability. That is what I know. So what I failed to mention is that if you do utilize the military ticketing office to purchase your tickets, the person who buys them does have to be present at the park, at least initially, for when the tickets are used, because the tickets that you receive from the military ticketing office aren't actually valid until you go to the guest services and
validate the tickets with your military ID. So, for example, on our first day of our trip, I will have to go to guest services and show my military ID, or my husband can show his, um, just to validate the military discount that was provided to us through the military ticketing office. And then once we do that, show the proof of military um, ID, then the tickets become active and they work just as any other regular Disney ticket. Um, so therefore, you know, my mom can go in and out of the park, go to a different park um, the next day without us. They work just the same. It's just that first initial day before you go into the park, you have to basically activate or validate your tickets, however, whatever you want to call it. Um, Now, I haven't actually done this, but I do hear that you can go down to downtown Disney Springs, and one of the facilities down there, you can activate or validate your ticket there. So then that way you're not waiting in that long, gruesome line at guest services. You know, the day that you're trying to get into the park and waste crucial park time. And that is what I'm going to try to do is go to downtown Disney Springs the night before and activate those tickets so we aren't just standing in line. Now, Universal was a little bit easier, actually a lot easier. I walked right up to the front gate where they just scan everybody's tickets. And, you know, when you scan mine, I just showed my military ID, and then that was it. I was good to go and walked right into the park. So Universal is a little bit more lax, per se, with that whole ordeal. But Disney, you do kind of have to go through those extra steps. So make sure you do plan for that if you do purchase your tickets through the military ticketing office. And just thought I would offer that in case you do try to buy those tickets for, you know, someone else and then hand them off and they not be able to get into the park because they would have to have a military ID to validate those tickets. So that is pretty much it that I have for that topic. So
There is a side note that I wanted to include as far as ticketing and pricing. Like I said, I get mine through the military ticketing office. That's the best discount for us. And I just want to let you guys know that that's not the only way to get discounts. There, like I said, promotions, and then depending on your employer, sometimes they offer, like I know my last job, they offer tickets at work. It's a website, and you can go on there, and I believe they have tickets for Disney World and Universal kind of packages on there. So that's something you can kind of look into, especially if your employer offers something like that and you weren't aware. Definitely look into that. And then also, like I said, you know, travel agents. Like I said, I've included Cody's information for you guys. Obviously, that's a great way to get deals too, is through a travel agent. And I know Cody's really helped me out with striking some deals on vacations as well. So definitely check him out, like I said. And that is all I have to say now for ticketing. At least for now. When I'm speaking about the parks, I'm only speaking about the four main parks, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot. Of course, they do have a water park, but I have never been to that, so that's obviously something you'll have to research into if that's something that you feel like you want to do. For me, I'm really not crazy about going to a water park. I mainly just want to go to the four main parks, but that is kind of what I live for. So, and then also another thing to keep in mind is there is the Disney Springs, which is kind of the downtown Disney area. And it's not a park, but it is on Disney property, and it's a pretty cool atmosphere. There's shopping, restaurants, some small entertainment down there that is also a really great experience as well. So in the evenings, or even if you want to plan an extra day, that is definitely something I highly suggest, because it's just a really cool atmosphere and part of the Disney experience, I feel like. Especially if you're an all adult group that's going. It's something that's pretty fun for just adults. So yeah. Moving on to Universal. So they do have the 2-park ticket that I was talking about. They as well have a water park that I've never been to. As you can tell, I'm not a big fan on water parks, but that being said, definitely check into that if that's something you like doing. Anyways, so we purchased the Universal tickets through the military ticketing office as well, and got the 2-park option, and that allows us to go to Islands of Adventure and Universal, and that's just kind of a free pass between each. And I think technically it's all kind of connected. It's just a matter of walking around. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but that's kind of what it seemed like. Otherwise it's going to be a really long walk. So for these tickets, I hate putting a price with it, just because obviously rates and prices do change. But when I purchased my tickets a couple months ago through the military ticketing office, my Disney tickets with the park hopper option was $315 per person. Like I said, that allows us to park hop between the parks, and this was for 5 days. So essentially, we have a day designated for each park, and then an extra day to kind of share some parks that maybe we felt like we didn't get to do everything we wanted to do, and things like that. And also, in case we don't score a Ride of Resistance pass, we have an extra day to possibly snag a boarding group with that. So that's just kind of how I strategized our trip. So I did 5 days at Disney World, and that ran me $315 per person. Another cool thing about buying it through the military ticketing office is there's not a tax on that, or anything like the ticketing fee, whatever you want to call it. So if that hopefully helps give you kind of a ballpark range. Universal is a little bit cheaper. It was $256 per person, and that was for the 2-park pass as well. And yeah, those are just some kind of rough estimates. Like I said, prices and rates are going to vary, so can't really hold that against them. And then also another thing to keep an eye out for is promotions, not only with tickets, but for resorts and things like that. I know Disney is doing a thing right now where it's like 25% off all like resort bookings or something like that. So definitely just keep an eye out for promotions that are going on. And weigh your options of single park ticket versus park hopper, and 2-park versus just 1-park tickets, things like that, because all of that factors into the price you are going to pay. So that's pretty much it as far as ticketing and resort that I can think of. What else can I tell you guys about? I know we can go over kind of my day by day itinerary that I have. And I don't want to sound like that person has everything planned down to a T, because they definitely recommend not doing that. You're on vacation and it's just going to stress everybody out, trying to be at this place by this time and this and that. And I definitely don't think that is the way to go. You're at Disney World and Universal, you're there to have fun. And of course, there are tons of things that can happen that are unpredictable. So you can't really always count on it. My itinerary is more just a layout of what park we're going to each day and kind of like our reservations for that day. So just so that way I can keep track of what we generally got going on that day as far as rides and shows and things like that. None of that is planned. We're just going to go and let the experience take us away. So I do have a list because I'm just very OCD and I like seeing everything kind of laid out for me visually. And so like our first day is essentially our travel day. We will get there about 3-ish, and so kind of designated that as just a whatever day, probably hang out at the resort. The only thing I have planned officially that day is we do have a reservation for dinner at the House of Blues, and I'm really excited. It looks so yummy. I've already been looking at the menu and I still can't decide what I'm going to order. So, if any of you've been and have eaten the House of Blues, leave some recommendations down below. I would love to see what you guys like or have tried and what your opinion is on it. So our first full day in Florida, we're actually going to go to Universal. And I know it may sound a little unconventional, but we're actually going to split our Universal days up. So we're going to be going on our first full day in Florida and then our last full day in Florida, and then going to Disney World those 5 days in between. So not everybody likes splitting those days up. Everybody wants to do Universal back to back, or, Universal, Disney, it's your vacation. You plan it however you feel comfortable and what you think you're going to maximize your time the best. And for us, it's not even about maximizing the time. It's just more so some of the things we want to do at Disney is going to probably be better touched upon during the weeks versus going like on a weekend day. So that's why I chose it to do it that way. But going back to the overall itinerary, we're doing Universal, our first full day there. And, like I said, nothing's really planned until dinner that night. We are going to be eating at Cowfish at City Walk, which is kind of like Disney Springs. So it's Universal's downtown-ish area where they have like restaurants, entertainment, shops, things like that. And so I'm really excited. Cowfish is kind of like a sushi burger place, and just hearing that, it's kind of like, do you really want to eat like a burger at a place that does sushi, or vice versa? Yeah, sushi at a place that does burgers. But that's literally what they're known for, and just definitely check out the reviews. It looks so good. And especially if you have people in your party who are picky eaters, it's kind of the best of both worlds. I love sushi. My husband kind of likes sushi, so you get the best of both worlds, and then hopefully make everybody happy too. And then, so our next day is going to be a Monday, and we're going to go to Magic Kingdom. And that day, only thing is we have reservations at Be Our Guest that evening, and I am so excited. This is somewhere that I have wanted to eat at since I've discovered Disney, and I'm just so excited. It's finally happening. I was able to snag a reservation. Yeah, I can't wait. If you guys could definitely give me some reviews or pictures of what you guys had, I would love to see that and hear what you guys have to say as well on that. But yeah, got that going. The next day we got Epcot, and then that's going to be one of the days that we are going to go to Boo Bash later that evening. If you didn't know, Disney is doing their Halloween little shindig right now, and it's called Boo Bash. And so we did get tickets to that, and so we're going to do Epcot during the day, and then in the evening we're going to snag dinner at Skipper's Canteen before the official Boo Bash starts, and then Boo Bash will start later that evening. We're so excited. Me and my mom are dressing up. I can't wait to kind of show you guys our costumes and just share that experience with you guys. And then I'm also really excited to eat at Skipper's Canteen. Next, we'll be going to Animal Kingdom. And then that evening, we'll be dining at Ohana's. And I'm really excited about this park. I've seen so many good reviews. I know that they've changed their menu a little bit recently, but and I've heard slightly mixed reviews, but overall still a bunch of great things, and I just love that style of food, so I'm so excited. And then next we're going to Hollywood Studios, and that's probably going to be kind of our most packed day, where we are going to have to strategize our rides just a little bit because we have reservations for lunch at this sci-fi diner, and then reservations at Oga's, so we can grab some drinks kind of later afternoon, early evening. And so the main thing with that is, like, if we're trying to score a ride of resistance boarding pass and things like that, we are going to have to be a little conscientious of how long we take, at our reservations, and just like the other rides that we do. So hopefully everything plays out and we're able to do everything we want to do. However, that is why the next and fifth day I do have split for us another reservation for Hollywood Studios, just in case we aren't able to score that Rite of Resistance pass, or we're not able to get to everything we want to do that day because of our reservations, or so be it. And so that's kind of like our little freebie extra day, so to speak. And probably plan on park hopping later that afternoon once we kind of get our fill on Hollywood Studios and things like that. One thing to keep in mind, I kind of touched on earlier, is with the park hopping, you do kind of have to pay attention to what times the park that you want to park hop to later in the evening closes. So like say you want to go to Animal Kingdom twice. Animal Kingdom is the park that closes the earliest out of the parks, so that's probably not one you want to park to hop. Park hop to? Little. It's probably not the one you want to go to second. So if you know you want to do Animal Kingdom, make sure you make a reservation for Animal Kingdom, and then park hop to a park that's open later next. So like Epcot would be a perfect park hop option because it is open later. So that's just one thing I wanted to throw out there to keep in mind. And then kind of on that fifth kind of split day, our last day at Disney, we do have reservations at California Grill. And then our very last full day, like I said, we will be at Universal again, and don't really have reservations for that one yet. We're still kind of undecided, and I know now that we're a week away, it's probably not the way to go to not have a reservation if we want to go anywhere, but we just couldn't decide. We know we wanted to do Cowfish for sure, so we're just kind of leaving it open for grabs. Who knows, we may just want to chill at the resort or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much our itinerary summarized. I can't wait to actually be at the park and, you know, kind of show our experiences and reviews and things like that for you while we're there. It's probably not going to be the type of vlogs that you're used to seeing while at Disney, but, you know, ultimately, me and my family are there to have fun, and this is more a way to capture those memories while being able to show you guys a little bit of what Disney has to offer, the different ways to do things, different restaurants, things like that, just so that way those experiences can be shared with you guys as well and kind of get a better idea of what there is to offer at Disney and Universal. I probably will be making another video just showing you guys of what I do pack. You know, everybody has different like must pack items aside from like toothpaste, deodorant, things like that. But sometimes it helps seeing what people pack just so that way you get kind of an idea of like, okay, that might be a good item to bring. I know I still watch videos and I'm like, I never thought about that. So, stay tuned. Can't wait to show you guys everything that I'm going to pack and maybe show you guys a little bit of the outfits I'm going to wear. I know that's something that I like watching on YouTube is people's different outfits that they plan and wear and everything like that. I think that's so cute. So I might do a little bit of that myself. Hopefully you guys will like that. If not, oh well. So one thing I did want to be honest with you guys about is the dining reservations that we have. You know, obviously how we're doing it, you know, we essentially have one planned every day. And granted, that's not as extensive as some people. Some people plan, you know, 2 or 3 in a day, and that's cool. I just know for us, I know that during the day we're going to be pretty busy, and if we're going to be wanting to do and see a lot of things, it's going to be probably easier for us to just do like a quick service or, you know, a grab and go type meal throughout the day, and then at least have that solid dinner. So that way we're still getting, you know, the nutrients and everything that we need. But as if we won't be snacking all day. That's besides the point. But at least that way you're still getting that solid foundation of a meal each day. And I feel like doing it in the evening is optimal time because it's towards the end of the day at the park anyway. You know, and so you've kind of already gotten to most of what you're going to be doing. So that's why I chose to do it that way. And just kind of a tip, if you are, you know, going on a budget and things like that, one thing you can do is on the app or the, you know, website is look ahead at the menu for the restaurant, and they have the pricings for the stuff there. So you can already kind of get a heads up of maybe what you might want to eat and the cost that it's going to run you. One thing to keep in mind, though, is a lot of those prices are before taxes and tip. So that's something you'll want to factor in too. So definitely just keep that in mind. You know, I know you can get really caught up. I know there's so many more reservations I would like to do, but one, looking at the time wise and for like what we want to do and accomplish while we're there, um, probably just play it safe and do that one solid reservation at least a day. And then secondly is the amount of money it does cost, because it is expensive to eat at Disney World and Universal. So you're just going to have to, look at those menus, see what the prices are, and then also just, take into consideration like tips and taxes and things like that that might be a little unexpected. And then some of the meals are preset as well. So like at Be Our Guest, I believe it's $62 per person for adults. And, like I said, that's before taxes and tips. So, and that's because it's like what do they call them? Like preset meal or like pre-course meals. I don't know what the right terminology is for that. But basically you pick from a select amount of things, and that's why it's a predetermined price. So that's going to be one of our way more pricier reservations. But when you think about it, some of the other reservations are going to be about $50 anyway. So, you definitely may have to decide, is this worth going to? Is it, what helped me a lot is watching reviews, seeing what people seem most pleased with, for paying, X amount of money. And that's kind of how it helped me decide the reservations I did for the days that we're going. So, yeah, hopefully that helps give you a little bit of insight. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope it's maybe helped you guys in any sort of way, whether it be information you didn't know about and I've kind of helped shed some light, or if it's kind of helped you strategize a little bit on or see a new way of planning things for your upcoming trip. But yeah. So that is all, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!